Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome again to another business conversation. And this time around, we are having Chukwemeka, who says that we can think big and we can start small. Welcome with me, Chukwemeka, Francois from Francois Visage, and now he has the Pamplemousse, Francois Pamplemousse. I'm very fascinated about you, Francois, because you are all round. You're an employee, you're an author of a book, and you also do different businesses. You have your product, the Francois Visage. You are a musician and you can play the geiger, and I'm just so fascinated to always be with you once a month. Thank you for having you and being having this privilege to share a platform with you, and I'm very convinced that the young people are going to benefit a lot also from your conversation, but particularly also the diaspora. Thank you for joining me today, Francois. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much, Vera. Thank you for having me again on your show. It's always a great pleasure having the opportunity to talk to many people, to share our ideas, to share what we have behind our mind or what we've been having behind our mind the past years, to make life better for us and for
Mm.
all the people around us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our business conversation. This is the second one we are having. And as I said, it's always a pleasure. Today, we are going to discuss about how to think big and start small. I know many of you have been very curious to hear or to listen to what I would say on this theme. I will not be the first person to say this, but at least if you stay till the end, you will not regret it. So, since the good man wants it to be like that, let me introduce myself for those who are watching me for the first time. My name is Francois Chukwemeka. I'm 51 years old, father of a big boy already. I was born and bred in Cameroon. I've said it already many times. My parents were originating from Nigeria. They are Igbos. And if you want to hear more about that, don't hesitate to go back to our last program and hear the 3-part introduction I did last time. And since we don't have too much of time, let me go straight away to our theme of today. Think big, start small. I don't know if some of you have seen this graphic before in your life. This is something that is going to change the way of seeing things of many of you and people around me, and then they will understand why I've been thinking the way I've been thinking. This is a person who has a goal. The goal should always be very big, very high, higher than all the steps he has to go through. The first, the second, the third, the fourth, etc. So what he's looking is only the first step, the second step. He's not even seeing it. If he just keep thinking of all the obstacles and difficulties he will face, he will never reach here. But if he keeps focusing on his goal, which is maybe this mountain or this big triangle, believe me, he will be only focused on that goal, and he will make sure he starts slowly, one by one, to get up to that point. So this will be the quintessence of what we are going to discuss this evening. Think big, start small.
Think big, start small. It is our conversation today, and when you're talking, I am looking back at the work of Sompon Social Service. When I began to think about Sompon Social Service 12 years ago, I had a very big dream, a big vision in my mind, and it has never for 1 second left my mind. But I knew that I was going to start bit by bit, little bite, from one space to the other, each one every day. And today we are an institution and we are having more than 10 people, 20 people working for us, 80 people that are actively helping people with us as volunteers. And we have been recognized in different areas of work, like we are youth. You can see for, like they will call it in Germany, recognized as the body for youth, recognized as a voluntary institution, and recognized as a social institution. This was a dream that started 12 years ago. I thought big, but I started bit by bit. So just to confirm what you are saying, Francois, thank you very much for that illustration with pictures. Now let's go into the conversation proper, Francois. Now, if you say we should think big and we should start small, what does that mean precisely? Let's take the example of Francois Pamplemousse. Explain
Yes.
to us in details on that.
Thank you very much. As you said, introduced Francois Pamplemousse here in a kiosk in Munich, a kiosk opened by one of our brother. And it has been a quite long time I've been dreaming of sharing with people what has been giving me the strength, the power I've been having these past years, because sometimes many people are surprised, some even colleagues ask, so when are you even sick? Okay, I used to tell them it's just because I follow what grandpa used to tell me when we were small, making use of fresh ingredients, fruits, vegetable proteins, and natural vitamins we have around us, or from vegetable and fruit. So since this was doing me good, I thought that I could use it to open a business. At the beginning, I wanted to open a big kiosk where I'll be just serving people Francois Pamplemousse. But I made some inquiry and found out that it wasn't possible. And I've been telling people around me that it is always good to start slow to see if the market is even ready to get or to buy or to accept your product. So I had this idea of, serving my football players, the Francois Pamplemousse, at the halftime of our games, or when we have a meeting with football players coming from another towns, like from Wolfsburg, from Nuremberg, or from Regensburg. They were always happy when they will test what I used to call, or what I'm calling today, Francois Pamplemousse. So at the end, some of them will even come and ask me, hey, coach, what do you do? How do you do that? How come that it is not really what we are having back home? So I will now explain to them, it's just because there are some other ingredients I put in. That's why the taste is a little bit different. So at the time, I started saying, well, just giving out things to people will not make me progress. So it will be good now to serve Francois Pamplemousse to places. So I went to some supermarket here. It wasn't possible to, accept or to explain to them the real concept. And then one day, my business partner told me that there was a brother of ours who is opening a kiosk somewhere, that we should go there and try to, eat something. So I went there, and then I looked around. I found out that our brother was not proposing something like a fresh fruit as cocktail. So I talked to him if he would like me to join him to start proposing Francois Pamplemousse, and also to use his kiosk as a platform to, talk about business, tell brothers and sisters that it is always good to come together, and it is always good to start in a small level to come up. So that's how I started with Francois Pamplemousse, because all the infrastructures were already there. The kiosk was there, the kitchen was there, the service plates and everything we needed. So what I did was just to propose a concept, a service, and this brother accepted the service. And this is how I started, selling Francois Pamplemousse to people there. Unfortunately, we open only Saturday and Sundays. Soon, when the shutdown will be over, we'll open at least 3, 4, or 5 times in a week.
Thank you very much, Francois Visage. Thank you very much. And Batimona Abeke says Francois Visage is all rounder. So Francois Chukwemeka is all rounder and a great entrepreneur. And we had this conversation, Francois. What is the difference between an employee, self-employed, a business owner, and an entrepreneur?
Thank you very much, Vera. This is a very, very important question. And many young people always face this question. And I can tell you, you can be all of them. I know it will sound somehow unbelievable, but what is an employee? An employee is somebody that works to get a monthly salary or a daily salary. That means you can even go to some places like here in Munich where you get a daily job, or where you get a job you can do for 2 or 3 or 4 days. You are employed by somebody. You just do your job and then he pays you. Okay. What is a businessman? A businessman is somebody that comes out with an idea that turns around giving a service and then being paid for that service. You never know what will be the outcome of the service, or what will be the financially, you don't know, because it's just like when you plan something good, you don't know what will be the benefit, because you don't know if people will accept it or not. So when you create something, sell it out, and all the money comes to you, and then you have to share maybe the benefits with people who are working with you. You are a businessman. So what is a self employee? A self-employed is just like a lawyer, because he is his own firm. He works for himself, and before he works for you, he will now have to sign a contract with you. So after he will sign the contract, he will now offer his service, and then you pay him. So somebody like a lawyer is a self-employee. So these are the 3 differences. But as I said at the beginning, you can be all of them. You have lawyers here who have created their own firms. You also have lawyers here who employ people who work for them. You also have lawyers who are politicians. It might also sound unreal, but this is what we experience here in Germany. So the young people who are out there, if somebody comes out and say you are not qualified enough to become a businessman or to become a self-employee or to work for somebody, then don't believe that person. You can do that. You can do all of them. The main issue is to respect all your engagements.
The main issue is to respect all of your engagement. I am very fascinated to see professionals be all the 4 professionals who maybe were trained to be like I am, a social worker. And then I started by being also, I worked for a company. And then some 3 years later, I changed and became self-employed. And then 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I became like a business owner and now an entrepreneur still, because I now add value to other people's lives. So an entrepreneur adds value to other people's life, which is what you're doing with your book, with your Francois Visage product. And that takes me to the next question. If we go back to thinking big and start small, how did you come about writing the book? How was it and how was the process?
Yes, it is just like I said it in one of our, in our first business conversation. I told you that all what I've been doing was just to solve a problem that came out. So I could remember I was sitting in this hospital where I had to go through a vocal cord surgery, and the doctor had a conversation with me and told me that there's a risk that I might miss or I might lose my voice forever, and then I will be forced to speak with something like a small loudspeaker. I don't know if you've seen some people like that in life. Before they speak, they press a button here so that you can hear them. So that was the risk. So I started asking myself, Francois, if you stop talking, what can you do? I thought of what my son wanted from me, that I should be telling him nice African stories. And I also thought of the fact that if I can't speak, at least I can write, because in the school I used to write very nice essays. So that's how I started. And then I started writing one chapter after the other. I didn't force writing. I just said to myself, let me use 1 or 2 hours every day to write something. This is how we started. And you all out there, you can also start writing. Just give yourself 1 or 2 hours where you have to off everything, off the television, off your telephone, close the doors. Tell even people who are around you, you need at least 1 hour to come to yourself. Take a pen and then start thinking of everyday's events, what is running around you, what people are doing. And one day you might even remember a nice story that one of your friends told you when you were small or when you were in the school. From there, you can pick up. This is how I started. I thought of the story of a friend of ours that told us that one man came. Yeah, so listen now. It was funny. And pee under a tree. And that was a holy tree in the Bakosi land. So sometimes after, a part of his body just turned into the skin of a crocodile. So this is how, yeah, I thought of this story. And then I said, let me inspire myself from that story and then write a nice African story. That's how the story went. And I'm about now writing the second, my second novel, and it is somewhat of a continuation of that story. Mm-hmm. And that's how we started. Starting small but thinking big. Think that you will write a book of about 1,000 pages, but start with 1, 2, 3, or 4 pages. Don't put yourself under pressure. Just start. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just as some people used to say, don't just move with words, but just move.
Mm-hmm. Just move. Francois, I have a question still on this book. Do you have a falak? Oh, how do they call falak again? Do you have someone, or you just did everything yourself?
Yes, that's the great chance we have nowadays. The chance that our seniors, those who came to Europe before us, or some of our fathers, those who went to school before us, didn't have. But today, you have many, many opportunities to write your book and to take it to a printing company that will do that for you, and then you can market it yourself. Maybe you might be luckier than Francois, and somebody will discover your book and say, wow, your story is really awesome or amazing. I would like to publish that. So don't be afraid to try that. And this is also something that started in a very short conversation I had with uh, one of my friends. We were walking around, and then she said, "Hey, Francois, write your book and then come and ask this library to sell it for you. Don't be afraid. Why are you afraid?" So if you're out there and you think that maybe all those big companies will wait till you bring them maybe your manuscript before they publish them, don't wait for them. Write something, print it for yourself, and then see how people will accept the story. If it
This
is a
is
nice story,
amazing.
then you continue.
This is amazing. And this is also encouraging to many people. I can see Eno Maggie says that awesome. I will also need to write the book. So which means that Francois, we are going to have another concept where you have to train people how to write up their own books and then give that as a product. So if you're here and you want to come out also with a book, then maybe you let us know so that we can also come up with the concept with teaching materials for you to be able to learn how to write the book. I have a question again from the viewers. CV Best is asking, sir, what motivated you to start up the Francois Pamplemousse drink?
Great. I used to work on Sundays, unfortunately, because as I say, anyway, I've introduced myself last time. I'm a professional airport handling agent. So, at the airport, you sometimes have to work on Sundays. Not all Sundays, but some Sundays. So that same day also was the day I used to meet with my football friends, the young people I play football, I play soccer with, or I train sometimes. So after playing from 10 to 12 o'clock, I had to go to the airport and start working from 2 to 8 o'clock. So one day, I just took what I used to drink before. That was this pamplemousse. It's a cocktail I learned when I was in Manjo, where I was born and bred in Cameroon. The only thing I did is that, I made use of some researches from Francois Visage to bring some other ingredients into it. And then I found it out that, those ingredients are even very, very good for the body. So one day I ate that pamplemousse, and then after playing soccer for 2 hours and after working for 8 hours, I was not tired. I said, wow, how come? And the next day, I didn't have all those muscles pain. I said, what happened? Then I started thinking. I said, wow, maybe it's this pamplemousse that I took. So I did it the next Sunday I had to work, and it really worked. So I started proposing it to my football players, because some of them, when they will come to play after the first half, they will be tired. Then I say, okay, let me just propose this to them. And those of the players that ate my Francois Pamplemousse, they were fit till the end. I say, wow, unbelievable. So since it is like that, and since our life is made up only of bringing value to people and asking them to pay you for that, because this is one thing I learned here in Germany. Whenever you do any type of business course, the first thing the professor will tell you is that if you are a business person, you have to propose something. And if you propose something, and if it's something that will help people to solve a problem, ask them to pay for that. And this is how I started with Francois Pamplemousse.
Amazing, amazing. And someone also asked the question, is Francois Pamplemousse organic? Is that an organic product?
Yes, it's an organic product. Last time, even my business partner was not happy because a German lady came, and then and asked, what are you what are you doing there, and what is in there? So I made something like what they call in French, well, a spectacle, because they say in the future now people would like to see what they are eating. So I made the cocktail in front of her, just turning it as we used to do in Manjo, just like a spectacle, like a show, exactly. So I did it. When I finished it, the lady was amazed. And since then, when I go to my partner tells me she always comes, and she said that she does it also within the week, and she's feeling good.
And
So
I
all
think
the
we have a lot of people, many people are talking about they want to taste Francois Pamplemousse. And would you mind giving us a tip how to do Francois Pamplemousse? Or do we have to come to where you are to have a taste of Francois Pamplemousse? How do we get Francois Pamplemousse?
Yeah, for now, unfortunately, you have to come to Munich. You have to come to Munich to Irish food. It is at the Strasse, number 15. Yeah. So whenever you come to Munich and you want to taste François Pamplemousse, come to Strasse. Why? Because my business partner said, François, you should stop now telling people how you do François Pamplemousse. Before, yeah, why? But many of my many friends, they know that my son.
So we are going
Friend
to
of
have
my
this
son,
conversation after that. You will tell me personally how to do my
exactly.
own Francois Pamplemousse so that I can be able to have it myself. And someone is asking, can you post it here? Unfortunately, he can't post Francois Pamplemousse here because of the contract that he's having with his business partner, not to
Exactly.
share the recipes all the time. Francois, tell us a little more again. Let's go back to the conversation of
Yeah.
thinking big and starting small. Now your Francois Pamplemousse, we can see the story that you thought you're thinking big. I'm imagining that you're going to soon have your Francois Pamplemousse come in bottles and you'll be selling it all over the world in different diverse markets. But at this moment, you're starting at the small level. And you have
Exactly.
done many other businesses that have come out exceptionally great. Tell
Thank
us more again. What is the concept behind this thinking big and starting small?
Exactly. Um, I'll show you this graphic again. Thinking big and starting. Yeah, exactly. Thinking big and starting small. Um, one of my professor, that was also one of those days, when you are in a course with some young people, when they don't like the way the professor teaches, not all of them come. But what they didn't know is that this man was giving us the best thing you can imagine as far as you are a business person. So this professor told us that there is nothing you can do in Germany. Everything is already there. The only problem is that you have to think out a nice concept, try to bring some new things in what you are doing, and then propose your service to people. And from there, things will just go up. Here in Germany, you have what they call um, Lohnhersteller. This is a word I never heard before, nor from my German professors or teachers in Cameroon, or from even some of our professors here when we're reading economics. But this professor told us about the so-called Lohnhersteller. As it is said in German, Lohnhersteller, it means I produce and you pay me for that. So you have here many big families who are the so-called hidden heroes. The hidden heroes, these are families who are very rich, who have been in the business for a long time. When you come with a very, very small project, they will not even accept it. But when you come with something new, because in 2008, when I introduced or when I showed my recipe to my loan hairstyle, as they call them, he was somehow amazed. I said, wow, I never knew that you can use this to cure some skin diseases or to keep your skin to be elastic for many, many years. So since it was something new, they gave me the opportunity to use their lab to do all the researches, to do all the mixing, and then to do also all the tests the German government was requiring. So that's how I started thinking small. I had also at the other side the opportunity to say, okay, I'm doing a crowdfunding. I want to launch Francois Visage. Any person that wants to join me on my big, big, big project, please bring me maybe 100,000 euro or 1 million. I'm going to make something big, something great. But the risk was also high. That hence I will start that some other big firms will also do the same thing. And this is even what this professor told me, because at the time I said, I would like to have a direct conversation with this professor. So we met about 1 hour before the beginning of the lecture. So he asked me, what do you want to do? So I told him, this is what I want to do. This is the ingredient and the recipe of my great-grandparents that I would like to market here in Germany. So he told me, yeah, this is how you have to do, because you're not sure that people here in Germany will accept that fruit as something good, because they don't know it. Then avocado was not popular in Germany. Yeah? If somebody is doubting, the person can ask even my nearer friends. They will tell you that, yeah, Francois is the person that even showed us what that fruit was. It's unfortunate that people don't come out today and say it loud that this is the man that even let us discover the tremendous things you can do with this fruit. Anyway, so this is how I started. I went to this family, gave them the recipe of my great-grandparents, and then we started working on it. So we produced only 4 pieces of Francois Visage with 4 different scents. So I had now to choose one because it was very costly to produce all of them. So it is from there that I now produce 250 pieces. Normally, you don't make money when you produce very low like that. But the laboratory was happy that they started a project with me. And this is how I started now looking for partners with whom I could market Francois Visage. So I started very, very, very low. And this is now many years that we started the business. I'm using this opportunity to say thank you once more to all my partners and to people who believe in my project. Then we're still down, but the goal is very, very far. The goal is to, convince our whole community, convince our people who are in the United States, convince the people who are in Africa, those who are in Asia, that they can now be proud of having a product that could really, really, really help them, give them the opportunity to regenerate their skin.
Thank you very much, Francois. And it's an inspiration what you're saying and what you're doing. Amazing that you have your job and you are doing all these diverse businesses. Francois, tell us more. But before we come to this question, let me ask the question of, or the comment of CV Best, who is responding to your previous conversation. And she said, wow, thank you, sir. It means that we should not be afraid to propose our businesses. We need to have self-confidence. Tell us a little more again about proposing and selling our values, because that's exactly the challenge that most people have, even in the community. You have an amazing business concept or amazing business plan or whatever, a course. You can't sell the course because you are not too sure will the people buy the course. You organize events and you have to invite people. You're not very sure will the people pay for this. And so this mixed feeling makes so much so that people are unable to sell their product. Where do you get the confidence to be able to propose and sell your value?
Thank you very much for the question. It is in your surrender. Your friends, your daughters, your sons, your wife, your brothers and sisters, people around you. Propose something and then listen to their critics. Are they going to find it good or not? If they say something is wrong there, you correct it and then propose it the next time and see the way they will react. If their reaction is positive, why are you waiting? Go to the next step. The next step now is now to try to professionalize what you want to do. And this is a problem we have in our community, not only in our community, even in our continent, that when we do something, we just do it anyhow. We don't think that people who are out there can even look all the simple or the slight details. And I was fortunate enough when I was in Frankfurt as a student, I was working in a precision firm, Präzisionsfirma. All their job was just to check that all the articles that are going out for sale are well done. If there is a slight or a single mistake, they will just put it aside. That was my job. So it was at the beginning difficult for my boss to explain that to me. But when he found out that I had that eye of seeing when something is wrong or when something is not well done, he was even very happy. He was, I think, one of the saddest person when I say I have to quit Frankfurt to come to Munich. So here in Germany, they are very, very, very strict as far as the production of any article is concerned. You can take the example of their vehicles. You can take the example even of their ordinary shoes or whatever they produce. They make sure it is not only efficient, but it is also good and correct. So if you want to propose something, make sure you do it very well. Go out there, see maybe your competitors, people who are doing or doing the same thing you are doing, see what they call the added value you can bring to your product. When we started, for example, at the beginning, as an African person, even my graphic designer, a lady who has been doing the job for many, many years, was surprised when I told her that, madam, I would like to have this QR code on my product. She said, no, Francois, when you do it, it will not be like that. I mean, it will be scattered. I said, no, Mrs. Meyer, this is futuristic. So he said, how did you come to that idea? I say, I was somewhere with around me, you had only business people, and they were saying that something is going to come where wherever you work, you just need to scan it. When you scan it, you read everything about the product. So I went and made some researches. It was the QR code. So we were even the first people who started putting QR code on their product. So some people were even surprised at the beginning and say, how come? So this is a kind of a added value you bring to your product. So even if you are sweeping some, you are a cleaner or whatever you are doing, just bring something new there or something someone has not seen before. And then by proposing also something, make sure you keep this German standard and then bring something on top of it. And I've explained it even before. The new thing we even brought was this so-called nano LS Spender. This nano cover you have here, something that explodes when you push the tube, and then when you leave it, it closes alone. And it is an organic product. It is rubber. We all know rubber we get from EVA. What is this produced in Cameroon by CDC, for example.
Wow, amazing, Francois. Your story is just amazing. Lot to learn from you, lot to get from you. I'm definitely going to get back to you to find out how to do the cool, whatever cool thing you were saying on for my Facebook and for my programs. But I'm already very happy that you are a coach and that you are going to be part of my team for the business masters class coming up in August or in September. We have a question for you again from one of our viewers, Brigitte Mafopa. She's asking the question, how did you find the so-called lone hairstyler?
Yes, very, very, very important. Then, internet, Facebook, and all other social media, they were not all that spread it like they are today. So I had to go to what they call there was this big book that telecom used before to deposit in front of our doors. So this is where I went to, and then look for a lone hairstyler. And then I said I would like to have a lone hairstyler who is not far from Munich or something like that. So nowadays, I think if you just go to Google, you just type you are looking for a lone hairstyler for everything, be it even shoes, spectacles, watches, jewelry, everything. You will have lone hairstyler for that. So just go to Google, just type lone hairstyler, maybe for jewelries or something like that. You will have many of them. Before, it was not all that easy to get them, and then I even had to struggle because the man thought that maybe I just wanted to come and play what we call back home, play wayo, or what we call 419. So he didn't even give me his real email address because he has never had to do with a young African man that said that he wants to come and show him something new that he would like to produce with him. So till he gave me an appointment, and then I came there, and then I brought the recipe of my grandpa and grandma, and then they took it, they tested it in the laboratory and found it out that I know what this man is showing us. They are all organic products. But what they didn't know is that you can use it as a cosmetic or something like that. And before we finished, my mom used to say charity begins at home. So let me use this opportunity to make a little bit of advertisement and say thank you to Willie, my partner, who is bringing Francois Visage to Cameroon. We are working on the next generation of our product. And yesterday, I know you will be surprised. I got here, I've not even opened it. I got here what they call the dossier Erstellung. Is the third step of bringing out, finally out a product like this. So we'll open it together to know if we have now passed the whole test of the next stage of Francois Visage. As you can see, it's not open. So really,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm also curious to get that information. So if you not mind, you can open and let us know if you've passed the test so that you start up the next product, which is the product you want to bring out now.
A cleanser, and exfoliating gommage, as they call it in French. Is what you use to remove makeups and also to remove dead cells from your skin. And they are all organic and renewable ingredients. It took us a long time to get up to this point. I mean, I think today many people are hearing how difficult it is to give, for example, the license to a pharmacy to produce, for example, a vaccine. It's almost the same stages we have to go through to have a product like this. That's why I always like to tell the young people outside there, do not forget, if there is something I would like you to keep tonight, before you go, think of this man. He wants to reach this level, and to reach this level, he has to go through these steps. So this is what you are seeing. And then if you keep thinking that there are too many, you will not maybe climb them. Please just think that your goal is here. And by having this all the time behind your mind will make you forget all the difficulties you are going to face. There will be ups and downs ups and down, ups and down. But whenever you fall down, just wake up. As I used to say, like the lizard of Manju, wake up, shake your body, and then continue.
I think the lizards of Manjo, they are very smart. When they fall down, they get up, they nod their head and say, you know what? I
Exactly.
have
And
still done it
continue.
ever same. Thank you very much, Francois. I'm wishing you the best really for the product, and I'm hoping that we're going to have amazing product. Francois, tell us a little more about your secret. What motivates you? What are the books you read that gives you the passion to continue doing your work?
Oh, yes, there are many books. And at the time, I even thought that maybe there is no book that will even influence me again. But the last book I bought even is the book of Mrs. or Professor Maya Goepel. And she has something very amazing at the beginning of the book. She describes the first picture some astronaut took when they went to the moon. So they were driving around the moon. There was an astronaut that stood inside the capsule and had to drive around the moon. And then at the time, he came out at that period where you are getting out of the dark side of the moon to see where the earth is. And then they took the first time a colored picture of the earth very far away. And if you see it, the earth looked like just a small bundle like this. And I've been telling people around me since I was young that we have to make sure that our environment keeps looking good, keeps looking fine, regenerate. Some of my brothers, even sisters, they were surprised that I used to plant trees at home. Or I used to beg people around me to plant trees everywhere. Why? Because we are in a very, very difficult period right now because the climate is changing. And as somebody who was born in a tropical rainforest and who is now living very far away, I know what I'm telling you about. So this book really gave me the confidence to keep doing what I'm doing. Try to bring out services, try to convince people, try to share what we are learning to make sure that we keep a kind of natural balance. And when you do all this, you have to deal without any complex. And this is what I even learned from also the mother of my son. She didn't say it, but uh, I think she used to think that I was Francois sans complexe. Francois without complex.
Thank you very much. You're an amazing person and you have a lot of talent in you. Another viewer is asking the question, Francois, how do we start a great business after thinking big without any income or money?
Yeah, thank you very much. I said it last time in our last conversation that money should not be the problem if you have a very good idea at all. All you have to do, just call your friends, call some partners, come together and start the business. Hence, you start, and if they find out that what you are doing is something tangible, something you can touch, something you can see, something that can bring money, they will now follow you. So just make sure that your idea is very good. Your idea is something you can sell. Your idea is something that can bring money. It's just like my Francois Pamplemousse. I was even surprised that the first lady that bought it said it was even cheap. Why? Because here in Germany, they look the service you offer and they see what comes out of what you've done. Because she has never seen before somebody using his finger, one knife, and two other utensils to make a nice natural organic cocktail in front of her, and she had to pay for that. So just imagine you are lucky enough, or we are lucky enough, the lady meets a business partner and say, oh, I've discovered something over there, let us invest on that person. So call people around you, bring your idea. Don't be afraid that somebody will steal your idea, because I explained it last time. Whereas you have an idea, you're always ahead of others, because if somebody brings out exactly what you're bringing out, you're already thinking of the next one.
Thank you very much. Again, in your conversation, you are making me understand the importance of networking. And networking is your net worth. It means that
Exactly.
if you don't really need to have the money, but you need to have the people around you. And again,
Exactly.
it tells us how important relationships are. So if you're there and you want to start up a business, then check yourself to find out, are you someone who really creates relationship, have good relationships? And if these relationships are good, then I'm sure you can start up a business the very without the money at the beginning, right? Now we have Mary De Caro, who says she is a storyteller. What would you tell her? How
Yes,
can she start small? How can she think big and start small as a
exactly.
storyteller?
Exactly. The first thing I will ask you to do what we used to do when we just came to Germany. Go to the next bookshop. Ask the lady who is selling there if she's the owner of the bookshop. Most of the time, the owners of bookshop, they know the best book. Tell her you want to start writing a story. Which book would you like me to buy in your bookshop, or would you like me to have to learn how to write a story? Just do this step. And as I used to say, don't just listen to what I've said. Do it tomorrow, next tomorrow. Go to the next library. Ask the lady, I'm looking for a book where I could read how to write a story. And when you buy the book, don't put yourself under stress. Just give yourself only 15 minutes. Take 15 minutes off everything, read the book, and then the next day, next 15 minutes at a time. One day you will find yourself reading the book even in 3 hours. And if you've gone up to that level, that's good, because the next step now will be to learn how to sit down and to start writing. Some days you will not even have an idea, but just sit down and write. And if you can make a special time for that, that would be good. Maybe when all the children are sleeping, you just give yourself 30 minutes. And the next thing also, I will even ask you to do, if libraries open, just go there, look for a nice place, just sit down there and start writing your story. And with time, you will see you will come with amazing things.
Wow, Francois, this is amazing, eye-opening too. Simple things, but powerful things, right? And it's so powerful because you say, if you are a storyteller, if you want to write the book, just go to this library and say, hey, I want the book that will help me know how to be able to write a book. Thank you very
Exactly.
much for these tips. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being here and giving us the gift of your time. Francois, the people are listening. What would you tell the people, a take home message? Think big, start small.
Yes, before I finish, I would also like to show you a graphic that really also influenced my life. You know,
Yes.
I discovered this in 2001. At the beginning, I couldn't understand, but 10 years after, and then I read that book again, and then I understood. It is easier to draw people down than to draw them up. You know, this person has the advantage here to draw this person down. So don't listen to people who want to draw you down. Try to always, motivate people, because when you push people to give the best of themselves, I am sure you will be having new good ideas. It is unbelievable when, if you can think positively, you will see how great our brain is. You will see you will be coming every day with new ideas. Like last time, I even told my business partner in Douala what is going to be the hit in Douala in some years to come. He laughed at me. Then I said, okay, please keep it for you. Don't tell people. And then we'll discuss about that business. It's unbelievable when you keep thinking positively, when you think of bringing people up, you always have good ideas.
Thank you very much, Francois. And someone is asking, any promotion for Francois Visage today?
Well, okay, last time I did the promise because it was the first time I was invited. Just pass through Sompon TV. I have this Sompon TV promotion. I promise. It is still open since somebody's asking. So just send me an SMS or ask for Francois Visage and then precise that you are buying it under Sompon TV rebate or promotion. Then you get it for even 50%. This is a very strong gift because I also have to give you back the time you took maybe to listen to me all the time or all this
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you very much, Francois Visage. So, yes, Brigitte, if you want Francois Visage, you can get in touch with me, and then I'm going to forward it to Francois Visage, and he's going to get in touch with you with your 50% if you mention on it from the Sompon Global TV. Thank you very much. Thank you also, Francois, for this cooperation work. Thank you for being a support. And Leziga says, thanks so much for the informational update. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come almost to the end of the program. And if you have questions, please never hesitate to send your questions to us. And also next week, we're going to continue with the conversation on our business conversation. And I'm sure that you're going to learn something. Remember that this year, we're going to also have our business masters class. And in our business master class, we give you the tools, the tricks, and everything that you need to be able to start up your own business from the beginning to the end. And we bring along life coaches, people who tell you they have put their hands into the mud, they know exactly how it functions, and of course, they give you the details that you need to know if you want to start a business here in Germany or again back home. But of course, like Francois Visage says, it is not for free. Francois, do you have any last word for the people before they go?
Yes, my last word is I would like to ask the young people who are outside there to come together and even build what I discovered for the first time in Nigeria. They used to call it a holiday. No, they used to call it mechanic village. Exactly. I was impressed. You will go to a space like this, you have more than 5 or 10 mechanics who were just repairing vehicles. So do it in all levels so that we all will enter into production. We need young people who will try to transform what we are producing in Africa. We should not just produce the raw material, we should transform them, use it ourselves, let money work within the community before taking it out. This is how other people became rich. And this is my last word to help the young people to fight against poverty. And please do not forget to bring people up, think small, start small, but always think big. Remember,
thank you.
Small step you have to take till the end.
Thank you very much, Francois Visage. I've seen already that Brigitte Mafopa has already commanded her product. So I'm going to send you, the order, and then you can also forward the product directly to her. Thank you, Brigitte, for the endorsement. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. Thank you for being here. We are a family and we are doing this together because we know that we are, because you are. Until then, see you tomorrow for the debate. For those who want to know more about the Africa we want. Thank you so very much. And until then, God bless you and take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.